Yes, once again it's me, guys. I'm hoping this is the last uh review so far of me making this comic. I think we're gonna conclude this series of episodes. It's the third one in a row from my last. So yeah, let's review how I concluded the superior comic. So yeah, let me not waste time. Okay, so yeah, last time I was busy constructing this comic frame. Yeah, he was in the snow, and he immediately got attention. Two soldiers kind of caught his attention, so and then they started to pursue him with the dogs, as you see. And so we find our young hero on the snow, trotting on the snow. So he has no single clue of where he is right now. So he's just trotting along the snow. Next frame. So the next frame is he actually got caught by the two soldiers. So yeah, they start wondering what he is. So they haven't had a single clue of what they would discover when they were in pursuit. So they were kind of shocked of what they found, and they thought the guy was the Yeti, the dude was the Yeti or the abominable snowman. So they were terrified. And so they started shooting. Yeah, they started shooting, hoping that they'll kill this monster. But the monster was impenetrable. So yeah, their bullets were quite worthless to the monster, or which they thought was the Yeti or the abominable snowman. So the dog started attacking too, and so the guy defended himself. So he just defended himself by hitting the dogs. And so as you can see, like the dogs are like barking, like. So yeah, next frame, the two soldiers they actually dropped their guns and they headed for the hills. So they were literally terrified because this thing or monster was impenetrable. They couldn't hit him with the bullets. So anything that exceeds bullets, that means it's obviously a danger. So they ran. And so our young hero, with the suit still intact, the armor per se, he follows the two soldiers' footpath, and then he discovers that this was a nuclear plant, and that there were a couple, maybe more than one, nukes planned to launch. So he was like, nah, I didn't sign up for this. So he was clearly aware that this was another war, so he had to take action. So next frame. So yeah, this frame is one frame that was somewhat more of an impact filled type of frame, of which I very much like the pose of the whole action scene and how the impact interacts with the whole frame. I really enjoyed doing this also. Like it's one of the like frames I enjoyed doing so far. Yeah. So he gets hit by a missile. Yeah, he gets hit by a missile very hard, as you can see. Bam! Like the impact hit him hard, so he was blown away. Yeah, he gets blown away. And then after being blown away, this next frame, like another round of artillery hits him. So he gets bombarded by a load of missiles ganging up on him. So he was like defenseless. So he had to run. So he tried by all means to run away, but he kept being blown away by these missiles. And as you can see, the missiles were caused by the weapons by the soldiers of which he had invaded their turf. So yeah, so that was a hard reality. They had spotted our young hero, and so now they bombarded him with these missiles, as you can see, like pow, pow. I try to illustrate that. Yeah. So and it's at night, so perhaps they have like night vision goggles and stuff. And then the next frame, he gets blown away, ricocheting onto a tank, as you can see, like there's two tanks. He bumps on one tank, and then he ricochets. Whoa, he ricochets onto another tank, and then finally lands on a military vehicle nearby. So yeah, there he is, landed on some military. So like the tar is coming off of the vehicle, and the tank just explodes minutes after he had crushed it. So yeah, with the weapons probably in the tank, so they probably exploded also, which alerted the some of the soldiers, which then like launched the rockets. So they launched the nukes. So they had to launch the nukes because they knew they were under attack. So they launched the nukes and they went out for destruction. The ground troops then decided to let it out on a young hero, so like they shot at him with assault rifles and heavy artillery. So, but as you can see, he was shielding himself. The bullets ricocheting off his armor, which was like in a shield formation. So he was protected, but then again needed to defend himself and also attack. The second move was to attack. Zing! Sorry, attack the soldiers with the armor, like some of the chunks from his armor. Well, as you have known already, he's been doing this so far throughout the comic. But that's his main ability. So he hits the soldiers with the chunks of the armor from his suit. Yeah, defending himself as he goes. Yeah, and so our young hero is safe once more, having defeated the enemy. But then he suddenly realized that there were two nukes that had launched before, so he had to stop them. So he was wondering, yeah, like he was wondering whether or not this armored suit would be capable of flight or not. So he had to try it. Next frame, so he just jumped from the ground. As you can see, the debris just coming away. Yeah, so he just bounces off the ground, and surprising enough, the suit is capable of flight, actually anti gravity. So he was like, anti gravity, so cool. Okay, so yeah. Next frame. He moves and he kind of glides in the motion along the skies, following the nukes, and so he eventually caught up with the nukes, so he just broke through them like bam, pow. So he just broke through them, like destroying them completely, and they had to explode in the air, so saving the day once more. the superior saving the day. Next frame. After having saved the day, he gets warped into another whirlpool of some kind of vortex. Yeah, he gets sucked into the vortex to another time. Yeah, and then boom, there he is in another different time as usual. So he just lands in some landscape that's quite familiar with Asia, so he's not sure whether or not it's Asia, but he has this realization that he's in another time, so he has to go on the next mission. So he's wondering, now China, or is it? So he kind of goes on to investigate the landscape, whether or not he's in Asia or whatever he thinks he is. But then along those structures, those buildings, some guard catches him while he's on the prowl and immediately alerts the security, and he gets caught. The guy gets caught, so they immediately apprehend him, and take him prisoner, and he gets caught and faces trial. He spends 4 days in prison. 4 days in prison. He gets in prison for 4 days. And during his time in prison, he kind of looks outside and he discovers this pretty young lady, this Asian young lady. So he immediately falls in love with her charm. So yeah, the young hero is charmed by this vivacious lady's beauty, and so he gets punished for intruding. And they keep interrogating him, asking him where he's from and what are his intentions. One of the guards call out the interrogator, so he had to leave the guy alone. So yeah, I'm guessing this is a couple of days have passed as a prisoner, so he gets a surprising visit from the young lady he had seen from the outside, peeking from the opening of the door, the prison door. He quickly realizes that this is the same girl he saw outside, and the girl was bringing her food. So he was like love struck. He knew that this girl was the same girl he had seen from the outside. So now the girl has come to take a visit. The girl asked the dude what are his intentions. Pretty much the same questions like, was the dude a threat or not, or what was he doing here anyway? So the girl tells the guy that this place is Vietnam, so it is being attacked and stuff. So he was wondering if the guy can offer some help of any kind, and was wondering about whatever that armored thing he was carrying. Was it a weapon or not? So the guy pleads for his release, and so he offers help also. So as you can see, try to illustrate the guy taking up his controls for the armor. And so he's offering to help them from the attacks. So yeah, he goes off to help the, the Vietnamese. Yeah, so the guy knows that he's in Nam right now, so yeah. He has to keep his end of the bargain, so they released him, so they need him to help them also. So yeah, he goes off to help. So he just flies off, and in the middle of the air, he just releases she's battle mode, destroying some of the aircrafts in the air, like he just disintegrates some of the aircrafts and he just goes wild, destroying everything he comes across. So literally destroying everything. So he's actually reaping havoc. It's like destroying anything he comes across. So he has to come back to the ground. So he just falls into the sea splat, falls into the sea. Was completing his mission, he had destroyed most of the aircrafts and some of the ships. So he just comes out of the water, like Rambo style. So he comes off the water, offshore, and right there, immediately offshore, he gets attacked by heavy artillery once more, and he kind of shields himself with his armored suit, and so like the bullets and the rounds keep coming up. Yeah, and so he defends himself. Some of the chunks from his suit had hit some of the ground soldiers, and they get battered and stuff. They get battered, like yeah, as you can see, like the one chunk flying off to hit everything it comes across, and like screams ah. So this is actually a battlefield, and so like the war is over. It's been like a month after the this war had begun, and so the dude and the young lady have become very close to one another. As you can see, I try to illustrate that. So yeah, I think they might have become fond of each other. So yeah, they particularly spending more time with each other. So one day they come across this magician of some sort, or yeah, some sorcerer or guy that makes like some magic tricks. So he's busy calling around the whole village. So yeah, he's like calling any volunteer to come and witness the magic tricks. And so like the fortune teller and the magic man is inside the building. So this guy's like one at a time, one at a time. And so the girl gets in first without knowing what will happen. So the guy just lies and waits on the outside. So he finally notices that the girl has been gone for a long time right now, so he's getting worried. So like he decides to get into the building and try to sort things out and realize what's happening. Why has she gone so long? The girl has gone for so long, and so not knowing that the girl has been abducted by this magic man. So, like, this magic man, he actually talks with the dude. So, he's actually a fortune teller and also a magic man. So, he's just telling the guy the girl is safe. Don't worry about it. He immediately discovers that this guy is actually the same guy he bumped into. So, he actually bumped into this guy before. So, this is our Charmin. This is the guy before. He's his enemy before, but he has no clue who it is. So he's wearing another different mask. So like the shaman or sorcerer or magic man reveals a dagger, and he's like curious as to this guy has some kind of power, but he's sensing it, but he doesn't know why or where does it come from. So like the shaman just throws the dagger at the guy, the dude, like our hero, and so our hero is very puzzled as to why is this guy suddenly attacking me right now, and what did they do to the girl? So he's worried about the girl more than his life. And so, like, the shaman just disappears with a whiff of air, like, out of the window. So it just disappears just like that, without bringing the girl back. So yeah, it just disappeared with the girl, like woof, disappearing, and the guy is left lonely, hopeless, worried, sad, because they took her only one and true love. Since he was a terrorist, so he started off as a terrorist, so he had gained love, so he was compassionate for once in his life, so he had lost that and he was angry. So like he swore that he will get her love back, he will find her and eventually bring her home. As another war was about to commence, so yeah, as she like the I illustrated some of the ships regrouping once again for another round of another second war. Well, and so finally, the guy gets warped into another vortex. So, like, swirling vortex to another time, and so I have to conclude that. So that's where the story ends. The guy ends up with nothing. So you might have learned a lesson from this. Rather be compassionate and help rather than to destroy. So the moral of the story was that he had to learn to be compassionate and save people instead of destroying them, since he had realized what a loss is, having lost a girl like the love of his life. So it ends. 4BG Comics, the last comic review. So the next step is publication, bringing the comic to life. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, I'll be posting it soon. Keep it locked. 4BG Comics on my comic review of the Superior. Over and out.